Some stories quietly creep into your mind, lingering long after the tale is told. Stay with me until the end of this chilling narrative. There's a depth you'll want to reach, and a truth you'll want unveiled. I moved to New Maple in early spring, just as melting snowbanks turned into slush along the curbs. Neighborhood children swapped their sleds for bikes, filling the streets with a fresh, lively hum. This was a place where folks waved from their porches and dogs trotted leash-free beside their owners, and quiet, unbothered, and polite. Just the kind of refuge I thought I needed. I told myself I was ready to embrace silence. I had accepted a teaching position, instructing art at the local high school, and found a rental. An aging 2-bedroom with creaky stairs and faded yellow siding, all I could afford without sharing space. I told people I moved here to focus on my work, to escape the city's relentless noise, a truth mingled with omission. What I didn't reveal was how a relationship, stretched thin by years, had quietly unraveled. Now silence began to feel safer than conversation, its weight comforting the cracks of my soul. And if you enjoy stories that reveal the quiet darkness lurking behind seemingly peaceful facades, please subscribe and activate the notification bell now to never miss a haunting tale that will grip your imagination. Your support keeps these stories alive and allows us to uncover even deeper mysteries together. Across the street, the Avery's house caught my attention immediately. Blue shutters, a deeply green lawn trimmed with precision, and tulips lined the path to their porch in a perfect, even row. I spotted Mrs. Avery one morning, bending silently to trim the flowers with a white sun hat, shading her face. She didn't look up as I passed, but offered a subtle nod. It took a full week before she spoke. "You're the one who moved into 214, right?" she asked as I struggled with grocery bags. "That, the old Duncan house," she called it, standing on the sidewalk with hands clasped and a voice soft but deliberate. On her smile never faded during our brief conversation. She introduced herself as Marion and repeated my name carefully before inviting me for lemonade. I accepted, sensing it'd be easier than refusal. Inside, a faint scent of lemons and wood polish filled the air, and spotlessness wrapped every corner, every surface carefully dusted and aligned. Family photos framed the mantel and walls. None showed a girl with brown hair and a bright, wide smile. That's our daughter, Emily," Marion said when she caught my gaze. "She disappeared last year." She placed lemonade before me and offered a cookie, almost as a peace offering. And later, Mr. Avery joined us, taller than Marion, thin, vested in a neat collared shirt, folding with practiced ease into the conversation. They were an old couple, charming in their way. I stayed for over an hour that day. Marion pressed a Tupperware of cookies into my hands as I left and told me to visit any time. I had no intention of returning, yet the next week she showed up on my porch with pie. Then came dinner invitations, then more, turning into a warming tradition over the month. And food was always abundant. Leftovers insisted upon taking home. We played cards, watched old DVDs, and I sometimes helped Mr. Avery with household chores, like shifting things into the garage or fixing a loose shutter. And I didn't mind. Felt good to be wanted, to be needed in a way they never spoke, but always conveyed. Subtle comments began slipping through the cracks of our interactions. "And "You have a laugh," Marion said once. Emily's laugh used to echo through this house. And another night, Mr. Avery handed me a book from their shelf. She loved this one, read it out loud on the porch. And I smiled, thanked them, took the book home. I told myself these were merely the gestures of grief seeking fragments of their lost daughter in me. I believed it harmless, maybe even flattering, a delicate kind of tribute. And one night, after dinner, Marion handed me a folded sweater. "I found this in the linen closet," she said. "It used to belong to Emily. I think it'd look perfect on you." The sweater was soft and cream-colored, sleeves stretched slightly, scent of lavender still clinging to its fibers. I hesitated briefly, but she was already draping it over my arm, her hand lingering lightly on my wrist. "You don't have to wear it," she added gently. "Just keep it. It would make me happy." I nodded, thanked her, promising myself to return it eventually. I never wore it, folding it into the back of my closet behind winter scarves, hidden away. By then, I'd stopped telling anyone how often I was visiting the Averys. Maybe I feared how it'd sound, or perhaps a small voice inside. I sensed something wasn't right. Something worse was poised beneath the surface. I just didn't see how far it would go. One Sunday evening, after roast chicken and butter-brushed rolls, with a cheap bottle of red wine between us, they asked for a favor. No television light bloomed in their living room, only an old stereo playing instrumental jazz quietly. Marion reached for my hand, cool but steady, and Mr. Avery cleared his throat. "Nasin, and tomorrow is Emily's birthday," she said softly. "She would have turned 17. They shared what they called a remembrance ritual started last year, a quiet evening honoring her memory. "We thought if you'd be willing, you could help us this year." I hesitated, the weight of their touch anchoring me. "Just sit at the table, read a passage from her journal, maybe wear one of her dresses." Mr. Avery's hand settled on Marion's shoulder as she wept quietly. "It would mean so much to us," he said. "People do strange things when they grieve." I murmured yes, though my heart wobbled. The next day, they dressed me in a pale blue dress, thin fabric pressed and waiting in Emily's room. A knit fit perfectly. Downstairs, 3 plates were set, one at the head, left and right, with a single white candle flickering between. Marion smoothed the shoulders of the dress as I sat, a folded paper on my plate. Reading aloud, a passage from Emily's journal about the scent of air before rain. I read it twice as Marion requested. We held hands. Mr. Avery hummed a slow, droning melody, Marion joining barely over a whisper. No words, just voices weaving in and out in a haunting duet. Then they ate, and I followed. The casserole was thick, strangely sweet, irregular in texture, unsettling. My stomach tightened, but I forced my fork, and I finished my plate out of politeness. And afterward, conversation wandered to memories where I had no part, and Mr. Avery spoke with certainty of moments we had shared, ignoring my silence. And I stopped contradicting him. Marion clasped her hands together. "You've been such a light to us." "We think it'd be easier if you stayed the night," she offered, gesturing upstairs to a made-up room. And I smiled weakly, declined, citing an early morning. The way they watched me, Marion smiling, Mr. Avery's head slightly tilted, made me uneasy. I reached for the doorknob, the world tipping sideways. The last thing I recall is the taste of metal and the floor rushing to greet my face. Birdsong woke me, soft and unyielding. For a moment, I thought I was home. The apartment with crooked blinds and peeling kitchen wallpaper I'd left behind. The morning light spilled yellow and watery across the floor, but the room smelled different, stale, powdery, floral. On unturning, I saw soft pink wallpaper printed with tiny green leaves, orderly and suffocating. On a bookshelf beneath a window cradled worn paperbacks and dusty trophies. And dolls sat on a wooden rocking chair. A white desk waited silently, a full-length mirror draped with lace. And every wall was covered with photographs and drawings carefully framed. Every image was of her, Emily. Her eyes locked on the camera, always smiling. And I sat tangled in sheets, still in the dress, skin itching beneath the fabric. My phone was missing, pockets turned inside out, no keys. No clock ticked in the suffocating silence thickening beyond the birdsong. And opening the door, Mr. Avery appeared, tray in hand, eyes unreadable but calm. "Good morning, sweetheart," he said. "We thought you might be hungry." His smile was mechanical, his presence unnerving. I wanted to ask why, what happened, where I was. Anxiety tightened my voice until nothing escaped. He spoke of me being overwhelmed, needing rest. "You're grounded, Emily," he said seriously. "No phone, until you're honest." Cold ran through me as he left, but the door wasn't locked. I tried the window, painted shut. Trapped in silence, I heard Marion humming, joyful but eerie. I watched Mr. Avery mowing the yard, his back to. I slipped silently, barefoot down the stairs, wearing Emily's pinching flats, heart racing. The door clicked open, deadbolt unset. Slipping outside, I ran, but he tackled me, breath hot and snarling in my ear. I screamed, but it was meaningless. Dragged inside, thrown onto the floor. "You don't get to run from us," he barked. A sharp slap echoed as he left. Light shifted as the sun set, shadows bleeding into corners. I dragged a nightstand to the window, smashing glass repeatedly but only marking it superficially. Arms burning and defeated, I sank beside the shards. The door creaked. Marion entered, dressed in pale blue sweater and slacks, silver brush in hand, calm as ever. Mr. Avery followed, pistol holstered but ready. They invited me to sit, to be comforted, brushing knots from my hair with a rhythmic hum. "You always loved this," Marion whispered. "You used to sit like this." Tears came unbidden, soaking the dress. She crooned promises of ease, melting confusion away. "We'll take care of you like always." Days slipped through this routine, Marion's nightly visits, Mr. Avery's watchful presence, armed and silent. Memories I did not own fed into whispered lullabies and sorrowful tales. I played along to survive until the breaking point. Torn photos, shredded sheets, upended drawers. Chaos screaming from my body and soul. Amid wreckage, notes hidden behind the desk panel. A worn journal, pages thick with sorrow and resistance, signed Bika. Her words spilled truth. "My name is Becca, not Emily. They took me, trapped me, erased me." She wrote of kidnapping, pain, erasure of days isolated and nights beaten, and forced to accept a false identity to be their daughter Emily. And I miss who I was, my name, my voice. Hers eroding with every page. Final entries, whispered of upcoming moves and impending death. I was Becca Harper, 16 years old. They made it all up. Holding the journal close, I heard an unexpected knock, hard and unfamiliar. Marion ushered me to the door, claiming visitors arrived, and 2 officers stood outside, questioning a missing person report about a young woman moved in nearby. Marion feigned concern as Mr. Avery called me by their daughter's name. "Emily, come, say hello." And underneath, the officer's scrutinizing gaze startled me, and I whispered, "It's me. They kidnapped me." The officer's steady resolve gave faint hope. They left as quickly as they came, leaving the Averys smiling in false victory. That night, the raid shattered the silence. Oars broke down. Voices charged the house. Officers rescued me, dragging Mr. Avery out, screaming desperate claims of ownership. Marion's tears fell heavy, pleading for my silence. But liberation finally arrived. Back at the station, my confession reopened Becca's case, shining light on the dark. Not yet, even free, the shadows clung. And trauma does not simply end. And I still flinch at the name Emily, still dream in that room with pink wallpaper and the soft brushing of a voice, promising I'll be better soon. This story is a testament to survival, hidden in silence, and in the terrifying truth that sometimes the quietest places can hold our darkest nightmares.